Once you've finished working through the tutorials for creating your car, there's a few different things that you're going to want to do to make sure that it's ready to print. To begin with, we want to take off all of the different colors so you can really look at the design of your car and make sure it's going to print well. You can do that by just selecting your entire design and then go to the paint tool, and this box right here is the default paint. So you can just click on that, and that's going to take off all of your different colors. If you want to take your screenshots before you do that, or even save the car first as car with paint, then you could also have one without paint so you don't lose all that work you did. But it's really important for actually checking the design that you don't have any paint on it. Once you've removed all the colors from your car, you want to check the bottom for any extra lines that might be sticking out. It's very important to get a good 3D print that you've got a perfectly flat base for your car to build up from. And one place I found a lot of problems is the wheels, because as you create the wheel well, it often leaves a little bit of the circle actually sticking out underneath. So you want to double check that, and if you see that happening, you can just use the eraser tool to erase these little pieces that are sticking out underneath, so you've got a nice flat base to your car. Then you want to check that the base of your car is one solid piece. So what happens a lot of times as you put the two halves of your car together is that it keeps these lines splitting it into the two halves. Once you've copied and pasted your car together, you can actually delete these lines and it should stay together as one solid piece. That's a good sign that you've got a nice flat bottom to your car. It's not as important to erase the rest of them, but I like to actually usually go through and erase all of these lines from this seam from where the car was pasted together. Then you'll use the tape measure tool to make sure that your car dimensions meet the requirements of the event. The length of the car can be no longer than 127 millimeters. So you want to check from the front to the back. And to really be careful, you want to make sure you're at the furthest point from the front all the way to the furthest point in the back. Since this car has an angled edge, you may even want to draw a line from the furthest point back straight down. It should be on the blue axis. And then you can measure from the front of the car, the furthest point front, on the green axis, so you see my line is green, all the way to that blue line. And we see we're at 121.1, which is great, because the max it can be is 127. Oftentimes when you use the tape measure tool, you'll see this dotted line show up. You can just either hold Control Z to undo that measurement, or you can just erase those with the eraser tool and make it go away. Let's check the width of the car. So if I orbit underneath, this car is pretty rectangular, so I could really measure across at any place. So I'll find the midpoint and go straight across. And it says we're at 46.8 millimeters, which is also okay because the width can go up to 63.5. And then finally measuring the height. And make sure I get the entire height of the car. I'm actually going to draw a line going straight up, and I should see on blue axis. So once I've drawn that vertical line, to make sure I'm including the vent on the top, I could actually just pull this side of the vent all the way over. And now to measure the entire height of the car, including this vent on top, I'm going to use the tape measure tool to measure from here down to here. We see we're at 30.8. We got plenty of room. The height of the car can go all the way up to 50.8, so that's definitely not a problem. Then to put it back to normal, you just do Control Z to get rid of those lines.